Hello, this is Benjamin J. Cooper, now J. Cooper. This is a video of how I helped found the Fast and Furious series as the foundation person, and basically how I created it and got all the staff into the movie and hired to form the movie itself, and then go on to make Tokyo Drift and the series. I'd basically organised this movie off a similar looking movie that was made in Mexico and brought out in USA. So I first of all had the permission of that person, which is a similar movie about a person whose father died on a race course. It wasn't a very popular movie, but then that was why it wasn't that famous. There was a free movie on the internet when I watched it when I was a teenager. So I got that person's permission to make a better film that goes on to be talking about, more about actual life outside of the track and different things that occur on the track, like making money and day-to-day life of people who drive sports cars, and just kind of make it into an action movie. Initially, I had been drifting cars on Gap Creek Road in Brisbane, Australia with one of my best friends, Alistair Daly. I had a Toyota Corolla K70 car, which was quite a nice car, for a first car. It's very good fuel economy, and you can drift it. Basically, the engine's very small though. I've never modified it, so I only put a larger air filter in it. So this got me interested in Japanese cars more, and that was when I went online and I talked to some actors, and I met Vin Diesel to organise this movie, and he said he'd help me with it, and he came to meet me a couple of times at Anala in Brisbane, and also I had to lie to my father to get him to go to Wivenhoe Dam to meet him out there to get an offer of making him a film itself. So the film itself, the offer was for Fast X, and it was for the first Fast and Furious movie. It was quite expensive. I was a 15-year-old going to Brisbane Boys Grammar in Brisbane at Toowong, and I didn't have a lot of money on me, but he'd given me a couple of good offers, which my father wasn't very keen on because he didn't know Vin Diesel. I'd known Vin Diesel had done some other short films in America, so I knew a bit about him. And he hadn't been on the film scene that long, but he'd done something before. So, from that point, across time, I met another man, which was at Archerfield, who was a wreckers, was close to Anala, and he had been basically somebody I'd recognised as somebody had been in a film, but I wasn't really sure. And when I went to get a spare part for one of the little Nissan hatchback cars we have, Nissan Laser, which I bought for like $200 from somebody locally. I think it was even $120. And he said, if you want this muffler for this car, and he threw a spanner on the ground, he said, get it yourself. And he was wearing like a silver chain and everything, like it was all sparkling. I was like, this guy doesn't look like he's doing any work. He's got no grease on his hands or anything. I said, I don't really think you're doing this. I think you own this place. I don't really think you're doing this. I think you're doing something else, I think you are somebody else. Like, you're not a mechanic. That's what I believe. And he just laughed at me. He said, well, you can really have it for free if you can get that off. And I said, well, how am I going to get that off? That's stuck on there, like glued on there, like it's so stiff. And then I asked his real name, and he said it was Harry, and then he said it was Leo. Over time, I talked to him on the telephone and in person about the movie I was organising, Fast and Furious. And I found out that he's been in The Glimmer Man with Steven Seagal, because I had the DVD at home. I looked it up and said, yeah, there he is. He's the bad guy in the Steven Seagal movie, who lives in a country town, and Steven Seagal bashes up a whole bunch of policemen, and this guy is in like a white supremacist kind of gang, like a country gang, and it's like, okay, fine, it's him, it's that guy, the Glimmer Man guy. And I ended up meeting the guy, and that guy and other people as well. But anyway, he accepted to do that. And I found an Autobahn for sale, which he bought with somebody else to get the money to do it. So after that, he went back to America. So that means I've met him and Vin Diesel in Brisbane, Australia. The other person I met was a guy who used to own a Burger King in Brisbane, Australia, which was, the guy looks a little bit like a Mexican, and his name was Hugo or something like this. His real name will be online. But I had met him when I first came to Brisbane, Australia with my father. Went to Burger King because it was the only American fast food outlet in the whole of Brisbane. And apparently I met him later on near Indooroopilly. I even saw him there last 2 weeks ago in Indooroopilly, still in 2004. So I met him way back in 1995, and then I met him again in Indooroopilly before Fast and Furious. And then I met him again last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago in Brisbane and Indooroopilly in Brisbane, Queensland. And I'd offered in this part, because the Mexicans do lots of little race cars, like they did the little hatchbacks, and you had little hatchbacks and they put turbos in them. That was pretty common for the street scene in the United States, like they used to race cars, small hatchbacks with giant turbo engines in them and Ford lasers and, different cars like that. And Ford Escorts, Honda Civics is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Honda Civics was the most common one, because you can get massive power out of them, like 500 kilowatts, 300 kilowatts for a small hatchback that weighs like 400 kilos or less. And he said, yeah, I'll do it. So he did it for Fast and Furious, and it was perfect. The movie came out perfect with those two. And also the other one was the main person who drives in this, the Skyline, which is, he's passed away now, but basically he was chosen by myself from Days of the Life TV series in America. I knew a couple of people who'd done Days of Life. One of them was a sister of somebody I met in America. But this particular guy had blonde hair and he was very nice. So he played the policeman in Fast and Furious, the one that was undercover. When he came to Adelaide, he was filming a documentary on shark diving. That was my suggestion, because he hadn't done a lot. He hadn't done really any directing and stuff. He'd just done acting as Days of the Life, and I liked him. He had a good look about himself. I was going to do the part that Vin Diesel was doing, or his part, but because I didn't come up with the money they asked me to come up with, I ended up just staying in the directing role of the movie and the choreographer and organising everything and hiring people. So I got him hired with Vin Diesel, because Vin Diesel does a lot of stuff, a lot of amazing stuff with computers. Like when I met him at Wivenhoe Dam with my father for the first time, he showed me all this stuff on his laptop that he'd been working on. It was like Fast X, and the video quality for back then was like HD or Super HD kind of quality. Already in 1993, that was like amazing to see that the amount of good quality video he'd done there. Anyway, all these people got used for the movie and ended up being like a really big hit. It was like a really great movie. But also I suggested they use different directors, because the cost of the movie was going to be a lot of, so I got Spike Lee and other directors. I hired them after chatting to them over the internet in America, knowing people. Spike Lee said he'll do it too, so they got different directors filming and choreographing with myself, which is really cool. After that, I had also worked on Tokyo Drift. So Lucas Black had also come to Australia because I was a fan of his Lassie movie. I used to talk to him when I was a young kid, and Lucas Black liked my brother's car. It was a black spray-painted Datsun with white lines over it, like vertical lines like that, like racing stripes. And but he likes American muscle. He hates Japanese cars. So I said, okay, fine, American muscle. I prefer Jap cars because we don't have that many American cars here. I have a couple, but I did own a Ford Fairmont, stuff like that, or a car like that was 6-cylinder. That wasn't 8-cylinder. And basically, he said to me, okay, look, I'd like to do what you want to do, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm a mechanic and blah, blah, blah mechanic. And actually, I did see him working in Kenmore and Brisbane before he talked to me, so I'm pretty sure he was a mechanic. There was somebody who looked like him. It must have been him in Kenmore. He was a mechanic at Caltex petrol station, I think, or something. And he made all his stories up to me. And he eventually decided to copy my idea of having a Mustang with a V8 turbo engine. It was my idea. But he asked my brother's permission to copy the car colour of the Datsun. So I actually had to ring my brother up on the telephone. He was standing next to me to get the permission from my brother to use the same car because it was his idea. And my brother was doing music after engineering, so he said, fine, he doesn't do anything to do with movies. And I was like, wow, cool, so Lucas Black is going to copy my brother's car. Okay, fine. It's a Datsun 2-litre with racing stripes and a big deal. But that would be really fast if you put a turbo engine with a big deal. I don't see the big point. I mean, it's not doing that with a Datsun. It's only 2 litres and it doesn't even have proper shocks on it. But okay, fine. Lucas Black loves it. Cool. And then I'd organised some Brazilian gangs and Japanese mafia and other people to be in a film. People I know in Brazil to work in a film. Actors. I chose a lady who's a policeman in Brazil to be in the movie, and other people to be in the movie. The Rock was in the movie, and one of the movies later on too that I helped recruit and gave other tips. So I gave tips and choreography for all the Fast and Furiouses pretty well. But the first Fast and Furious and Tokyo Drift were the main ones that I put work onto. And also I helped choose Ludacris for the movie, the rapper, the Japanese girl that drives a little hatchback pink car, Miyaki. Yeah, she's from Japan. I chose her after talking to her in Japan online. And, I knew a lot of people in drift clubs because I had a Japanese car, not necessarily because I spent a fortune on my Toyota K70, but it's one of the only original K70 cars in the whole of Australia that I owned, that I bought from a guy on Mount Nebo in Queensland. It's Italian. And so all these people were being part of this Fast and Furious series. It ended up making a lot of money. It ended up being really, really popular in Japan as well, the Tokyo Drift. But Tokyo Drift was not that popular in America because it's basically founded on the American film industry the way I did it, and also on the Mexico border, the Mexican stuff, and the crossing borders to escape criminal conviction. That was the theme. And later on in one of the other themes was Jason Statham. I asked Jason Statham if he wants to be in a film because it's somebody I met when I was a child, and he's pretty good at films. He said, yeah, I'll do it too. So his theme was more like a bad guy, and I had drones and stuff involved in that one. That was a little bit of my doing as well. So back to the first Fast and Furious, when I was living at Lutwyche in 2002, I helped choose the 2 black cars Vin Diesel chose. He took them back to America. I was driving along the road near Wesley Hospital in Brisbane, Queensland, near Albion, and I saw 2 black Fords that spray painted brand new black. One was a V8, one was a V6, and I couldn't believe it. It was for sale for like 13,000 or something like that, and I was like, what? These are beautiful, totally redone cars. I can't believe my eyes. These cars are here for sale. I can't believe it. So I called Vin Diesel and he said, yeah, I'm going to get them. I'll buy them. Perfect. That's the kind of car you like for one of the roles. I will get it. Fine. And then another year later or 6 months later, I was in Maruka. They got some turbo Japanese car places down there. And I saw the Nissan Skyline grey with a blue on it for 52,000 or 54,000. Wow. Beautiful. They got that straight away too, and they said, we're going to send it back, all those cars back out in a ship. When we go back to the United States, we'll get it. And the guy selling it was a man who I'd met quite a few times, who sells cars and things and other things around Brisbane, who knows people, and I was like, wow, they took that car, beautiful. So there's been a lot of interesting things, because people think they got the cars only from Japan. Actually, no, they bought them from Australia too. They got cars from all over town. Vin Diesel owns quite a lot of different cars as well over the years. So he's actually collected some cars, I think. So that must have been true. So that's one of the things that's been very interesting to me about the car side of things. And that's been very, very interesting to find out those things, because when we had to get the cars done, they have to take them apart and use them. Like one of the scenes, they went through the desert in a tunnel. The car goes through a desert in a tunnel, and it comes out the other side, and it's a hatchback, and it gets smashed up and broken in there. Yeah, that was also my idea. It's a Subaru hatchback, because I actually later on owned a Subaru 2002 Turbo Bug Eyes. But the hatchback is a little bit faster because it's smaller. So, this is just some other things I'm adding in from my other video, because this is a 4K video and the other one I uploaded is not 4K. So I'm trying to improve some more information on the film. Basically, the thing is I had to have a lot of money put through in the films, even though I made it. My opinion is I don't have to, and my mum's opinion, because I'm the one who organised everything. It took me about two years to organise Fast and Furious with Vin Diesel, because Vin Diesel did do a lot of work on it, for sure, and his camera crew. And basically, Vin Diesel is a very good person, I found, as well. He's given me lots of opportunities. I helped Ice Cube come onto the film as well. Other people, like I mentioned, help get onto the film. People that are like perfect for the roles. I like them. Charlie's one of the other actors, female actors. We got them all help to get onto these jobs. So we all know each other, and even Jason Momoa, they all got assistance from myself to get into the role. So I feel like I'm owed a lot of money for this as well. But the thing is, it's been very exciting getting these jobs done, getting this series made, and also finding out the locations they had to go to film them. There was a lot of traveling involved. So, that's one of the things about the traveling as well. That's involved, and it takes a long time to get all those things sorted out. But the thing is, going on from there, I will talk on another video about the Japanese Fast and Furious computer game. I'll elaborate on that from my other video. Thank you.